in introducing Amity Innovation Incubator as a very comprehensive startup ecosystem in India. We started our operation in 2008 under our president, Dr. Ashlim Chauhan, with a vision to ensure that a comprehensive ecosystem is in place to nurture entrepreneurs and strengthen innovation culture at the grassroots level. We are supported by Atal Innovation Mission, Ministry of Electronic and Information, Ministry of Defense, MSME, and DST. During our journey of 15 plus years, we incubated and supported more than 750 ventures and have added investments in 80 plus ventures through Amity Capital Ventures. Our investments vehicle with more than dozens exits to our credits. We have created a network of incubators with presence in Noida, Lucknow, Manesar, Jaipur, Raipur, Gwalior, Mumbai, and Bangalore, along with international presence in Dubai, New York, Singapore, and Uzbekistan. We would like to express our gratitude to Atal Innovation Mission for providing their continuous support. India's startup ecosystem, the third largest in the world in terms of number. The country has nearly 14% of women entrepreneurs, equating to 8.0 million. Some reports conducted over 10,000 working women aged between 24 to 55 across various cities reveals a significant trend towards entrepreneurship. Around 76% of respondents expressed a desire to start their own business. Despite this positive trends, the report also identifies challenges hindering women financial independence. A significant proportion of women cited a lack of confidence, a limited understanding of financial instruments, and entrepreneurship as a barrier to make financial and emotional investments in independently. However, even then, breaking the societal norms and stereotypes, they are surpassing all the challenges that comes in their way. Today, we are present here to discuss the opportunity and barriers for women-led founders. With immense pleasure, on behalf of Amity Innovation Incubator, we welcome all the panelists and attendees who joined us for today's discussion. Now, I would like to introduce our moderator for today's panel discussion with Ms. Shweta Raga. She's the founder of Industry Bees. In addition to that, she holds such as a mentor of change at Niti Aayog, business coach for Delhi government, Mark mentor for Startup India. She is also a mentor at startup institutions like IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, and Niti Startup Hub. Her expertise lies in helping MSME brands, business, startup from idea to IPO from her last 15 years of experience. Over to you, Ms. Shweta. I would also request all the panelists to drop their question at the end of the session in our chat box. Over to you, Ms. Shweta.
Thank you, Shivani, for wonderful introduction on this beautiful morning. So, good morning, everybody, on this beautiful occasion of International Women's Day, to all the dignitaries there and the panelists and the people who have joined for this amazing session. So, I would take this opportunity to start this session because we have very short time of 45 minutes, but it's not short because the discussions are going to be very insightful for everybody, and I hope that everyone would get a lot of learnings from this amazing expert panels. So starting with the introduction of Miss Harshika. So Harshika Paliwal, who is the principal at FARD Network, and she has been in the VC ecosystem for around 4 years and have been a part of Family Office Accelerator and currently working with FARD, which is a CAT 1 to 300 CR angel fund. So next amazing panelist we have Ms. Umang Pathak, who is the founder at ESG Advisory Services and holds multiple leadership position at Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and other all. So ESG Advisory Services is a futuristic, client-centric, technology and data-driven with collaboration to deliver impact at scale for working more on sustainability, management and strategy to integrate sustainability in the organizations. Next, I would like to introduce our amazing founder, Ms. Kalyani Shinde. She is managing director at Godam. Godam is a, I can say, innovative startup which implements LOD based to analyze and communicate the health status of onion stock in real time. And they extend their care and support to farmers by providing them with important information about their onion stocks, which enable them to take an informed decision. So we can see that three beautiful panelists with amazing and extraordinary experience, everyone the legend of their own industry. So I'll take the opportunity to start my first question with Harshika, because Harshika has been deep into the VC industry and funding. And nowadays, funding and startup both are like everybody is running behind it. So, Harshika, you must have got the fan following lot, I must say. Reason being, you are investing also and you are into funding the startups. So, here my question would be, what are your thoughts on women-led startups? Like, is India really accepting the women startups?
Okay. I'll tell you a brief about the overall investment journey I had. So first of all, VC ecosystem doesn't have many like women in VC kind of a thing. We are still at a 4 to 8% kind of a ratio, be it angel funds, VC or private equities. So first, if we kind of see on the investment perspective, there are many lesser comparatively female VCs in India for now. Coming forward with the like startups, yes, startups are growing really, really well. Led by women, yes. You talk about sugar, you talk about all the bigger brands. Like, I mean, things are working out really well. There are like some spaces where women have not been very actively looking at, let's say space, fintech, are some of these spaces where you'll just find 1 out of 100 kind of startup led by a woman. And even the funds focused in the kind of like women led or women focused or women centric kind of funds have only 30 or 35% of their investments done in women led or women CXO kind of an investment. So yes, there have been a lot of hurdles, but things are working really positively. And yeah, from the investor point of view to the investor to the startup point of view, everyone is kind of working around and things have been getting really well.
Right. I completely agree with you because when we visit multiple events, we see a group of VCs, right? But in if the number is 10, we see almost 7 to 8 people are male and two are females. So sometimes when I visit, I just wonder that even if we are having the same caliber, we are so I can say outstanding nowadays. So why aren't we increasing our numbers there? Maybe becoming a startup founder, maybe in VC domain or maybe investing. So next, I would like to ask Umang, that what is your thought on the same point? Like, do you feel there are challenges when we are a woman and doing a business or starting something unique which society is accepting sometimes, but sometimes it is not?
Okay, it's a very, very deep problem. I don't think we have arrived at where we should ideally be. I mean, United Nations, World Economic Forum every year come up with the gender gap numbers, which are very, very appalling. It will to take 250 years for gender equality, and gender parity will even, will take longer. Uh, in terms of startup businesses or women in work, I mean, these numbers haven't really improved. And especially post COVID, when the impact was so disruptive for the entire world, it was the women who were more being nudged out of the, productive, being the productive population. So I think till the time we look at it holistically, I mean, the productive population doesn't come from isolation. It's the women who make them, create them. I mean, that's how the
Sure.
biology works. But women are also individuals and persons. Till the time, I mean, we are far away from looking at this problem in a gender neutral way, that how many people are business entrepreneurs and how many people are the CEOs and how many people are in the workforce. But sheer numbers, we're talking about 50% of world population. India is the most populous country today, the youngest population of the world today. So barely by numbers itself, women create a lot more in productive category of population than even a lot of other countries. So if we are not going to look at that, I mean, if we are not making an effort to bring it together, and this is not, the problems are not in the isolation. The gender discrimination right from the beginning. I'm not even getting into the female infanticide and feticide as a problem. I'm just generally saying that less women go into STEM related education. That's why you find lesser women in sciences, fintechs, or space that we are talking about. There is a cause of that problem. So it starts from there. Then lesser women in finance, as Harshika said, there are only 4 to 5% in the investment community. So these are the male denominated sectors which are then looking for male denominated businesses to fund. And then there are anthropological, sociopolitical issues, the mindset issues that aggressiveness is a better trait to run business. So you should fund businesses which are either women are aggressive, or even if we say gender neutral way we look at it, women leadership is very, very different, which actually today has come to be more relevant than what it was in the past. So I think we are far from the situation, but yes, the efforts are being made. You will see a lot of government initiatives. You are seeing a lot of women-led incubators. I mean, women-focused incubators, accelerators, and a whole lot of other things. So I hope this over the years will make a lot of difference. But yeah, I mean, this is where we stand today, in my view.
Definitely, I agree with you. But we have the leading example, I can say Kalyani, who has surpassed all these things, and she is into like the industry STEM, what you talked about. So her background also simplifies the same thing. So Kalyani, what would you like to speak on the challenges of the smaller cities? Because you are from Nasik. So metro city, the differentiation are very the people or the mindset is different. They are more open to the opportunities and everything. But if we talk about Nasik, so what are your thoughts and experiences?
No, of course, I think I agree to what Harshika and Umang has rightly said, and that is the reality of the ecosystem we are a part of. But especially for me, whenever I present and talk to any investment panel, or if I would say not investment panel, also anybody at a larger scale, whether it is an incubator, accelerator, there's always a question that, okay, first of all, are you alone doing this? Is it, or do you have a co-founder? Is there somebody else also? So that is something which makes them, for them it's easier to make that decision when there is somebody else. So I see that. Secondly, when it comes to the space or location where we are operating out of, and all the large companies today are coming from Bangalore and Mumbai and Pune, that's it. But it takes some time for me to tell them that why is the location where I am, and how that is going to impact the overall journey of the startup. But one other thing which I've realized is it is both different parts of this. When as a woman founder in the other parts, where I'm looking for partnerships, collaborations, customer sales, and all of that, it is a little easier because they look at me as a respectful being, and because I'm a woman, they treat me differently, and they are a little bit they would share their problems and they will talk about challenges openly. But on the other hand, when it goes to investors and other partners, they feel I feel they still have a lot of long way to go to believe that a woman can make it big. I think that's the kind of narrative we are juggling between. And recently, past 3 months, we were doing a fundraise, and I was constantly between both those things. So I have single-handedly experienced this very recently. So yeah.
So was the fundraise successful or like?
Yeah, so we did a pre-seed round, but majorly again, I feel that next further rounds would really answer this question very well, because that is when we will go to VCs. But today, though, it was.
Exactly. So Harshika, what do you think? Is the VC or the angel investors or the investment sector keen, or are they looking to invest in the metro cities, or they are open to just the idea, innovation or idea, or city does matter?
I guess the idea matters, the business matters. I mean, the actual investor wouldn't look at you are from a tier one, tier two, or a male or a female, or like, I mean, if your idea is seriously workable, I guess it doesn't really matter. But again, for an investor to get that idea, or your idea to reach to that right investor who has this thought process, is the workaround that you have to do. For example, I was born and brought up in Nagpur. I have looked around very great traditional businesses working out really well. From solar industry, which has a 40,000 crores market cap, to Haldiram Nagpur Originals, which is actually Nagpur entity, though we could have a separate debate about it of Haldiram Nagpur and Delhi. But yeah, I mean, Haldiram Nagpur has the international thing. So I've kind of seen a lot of proper big industry setups there. But the idea of kind of startup, maybe just providing some kind of sustainable packaging to Haldirams or anything like that could have happened very easily in a tier two state city where I was living at, compared to Delhi, where you don't have maybe the direct contacts because the person is resident of Nagpur. So like you just find what geography you are in, what exactly are the edge that you have in, and if you kind of work around that specific geography and you have your good, I mean, I don't want to use the VC terms of TAM, SAM, but again, like if you have a good like work around with the market size there in your geography itself, that you can make big. And that's what an actual investor want, that if your model is workable, if your model is where it could work on the profitable model, could capture the greatest of the market size, that's where they would want to put money in. So tier two, tier three doesn't really matters. But again, your idea to reach the right investor is what it matters. So yeah, that's the main area there.
Exactly. What I have seen is the metro cities give a lot of opportunities. If we talk about Delhi itself, there are everyday networking events happening. But if we same go to Nasik or any city which is not metro, events or startup event is, I can say, something very different occasion for them, because in a month or two they must be having one event. So, how do you feel, Umang, that the people from smaller cities and the people from metro cities are moving towards this achieving the same goal of startup ecosystem or building their startups, maybe in sustainability, or how do you think?
See, you're right. I mean, one is a geographical issue, anyways. I mean, wherever, from a pure business terminology, wherever there'll be more footfall, there'll be more access to your product, right? So, your ability and the challenges which we normally speak in a very gender neutral way is access to the right networks, access to the right collaborations, access to to even find the right co-partner, and of course, definitely funding. A lot did change post COVID because hybrid setups came into being. I mean, for us to be able to connect from different parts right now and in the comforts of our homes and offices, I mean, that bit has definitely facilitated it. But yes, I mean, that challenge will remain. But I think that transition is again going back to being in physical spaces more, which is why the events and things are mattering. But my suggestion to most startups or whoever wants to network is leverage these social media platform. And thankfully, post COVID, due to this hybrid and everything, and even apps like Clubhouse, where sitting that time we were connecting to people in the world. I personally have reached out and have been reached to myself by a lot of people on purely these networking or a social media or these kind of events. I mean, with every session like this, I access a lot of people, which I plan to do. And the people reach out to me, and physically, whenever it's possible. So even if you're in different cities, you travel, you make special time, and if you're committed and driven enough, I think you can get virtual meetings from people on individual basis, which I feel are more productive than a network event. Network event does, you do make exchange your cards, or listen to the very insightful discussion, because it's very well curated programs which brings the right kind of audience in under one roof at one time. But these people you can yourself seek, is what I'm saying. So, both things can work together. It's not one of those formidably restrictive things that people from, tier 2 or tier 3 cities should, be facing as a setback.
Right. I do agree on this. But what do you feel about? I have seen that if a woman first moves or tries to connect with different people, there are different mindset in the society.
No,
So
I totally agree. I myself go to a lot of network events when I'm in Delhi. The smoothness and natural way of men interacting is very different. You have to walk up into a group, you have to introduce yourself. People do highs and they exchange numbers, but the actual content of conversation, either, I mean, you only have a window, very limited time, again, as these events are panned out. So again, this is one of the things that everybody can work on themselves, that this is the reason everybody is there, to network. So instead of feeling shy or waiting for somebody to come up to you, you should reach out, and you're listening to people anyways, from from panelists to other people. So reach out to those who you think are relevant, exchange your numbers, and make sure follow it up with your emails and your profiles. Follow up on scheduler and interaction. I think these initial interactions to be virtual are even better, instead of wasting time in traveling, and again, carbon footprint and whole lot of things about driving your cars and public transport to get there. So yeah, I mean, definitely, as a woman, I feel there is a little, and more than yourself, even the men are very conscious when it comes about interacting and walking up to women. They don't want to give wrong impressions. But network events, that's why I said, are for a defined purpose, and people are there for the reason. So better make best use of it.
agree, completely agree on this point, because attending the events and giving or going to the person of group where all are men is sometimes difficult. So Kalyani, I would just like to ask you, like, when you were raising the funds, so as a woman entrepreneur, what things were different, or what things you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I think, of course, I'll just coming to that point again, what Umang was sharing about networking events. I just had one more thing which I've experienced, and based on experience, I would like to share is I went to an event in Bangalore, and this was my first time attending, any networking event in Bangalore, like a city. I almost knew nobody there. Now, whenever I did attend any events, it was like an agri-tech ecosystem. An agri-tech ecosystem is not that large, so we know each other. But when you go to a very tech-based entire, all kinds of companies and startups are there, it's very difficult for you to get into that ecosystem. So what I realized is I was first half of the day when it was very difficult for me to get into conversations and get into the and find if there is anybody relevant for me to connect and get their cards. But in the second half, I had a presentation and I did my presentation, and after that all the relevant people started coming to me, and then it was very easy to make those conversations. So I feel that I have sort of made a point for myself also, coming to where Umang was saying that you cannot spend a lot of your time only going to events, and but at the same time you have to be seen, you have to be visible, you have to have connections and networks. So I personally have a point where whenever there is a presentation of mine involved, then I make it a point to travel to that event and then attend it. Otherwise, then it's sort of, then you can decide whether who is attending on that. But majority of my events which I attend is where I have a presentation, so people know about me, and then these one-on-one conversations can happen later. So that sort of is something I thought I would share. But secondly, about the fundraise part, of course, I think what challenges majorly where I would say for me, it was a little bit easy because we were seen through multiple grants and fellowship programs. As a company, we were a part of multiple such programs. So there is always a network of these who know that, okay, these are the upcoming companies in this sector. So that's there. But I think, as I said rightly, about who is the team Is it only you? What is the role that you're working on? And is there somebody else who is handling? So there are very specific questions. Okay, who is the person who handles tech? These kinds of questions are very much asked and pointed upon, that if there is somebody else who's looking after the product and tech, then okay, then what is it that you look after, and where are the other team members working on? So this is something which I have majorly faced challenges upon. And of course, they want to know your personal background, where do you come from, what are your future plans, and that's something I feel that might not have been asked in the other gender role specifically. But yeah, these two things is what I feel majorly.
Yeah, perfect. That's the real thing what investors looks at, because he want to have a long-term surety that they are on the right track. In spite, I feel that ideas are a good. The second important thing they look at, what is the scalability and growth, like for how many years the business is going to be continued. So here I would like to ask Harshika. I have seen that there are duos like mother-daughter duo, or women, two friends starting a business. So, do you think that investors are interested in such type of businesses where the people are knowing each other, and first they have friendly relationship and then they convert it to commercial terms? So, does this business have growth or funding issues?
So let's start with Mama Earth, right? I mean, husband, wife. Who would not call that inter-party or kind of like, so usually a board gets a bit uncomfortable because a lot of decisions are made behind the doors, or the board would not be knowing it. So this is a kind of a VC or a private equity mindset, that a lot of decisions, because they would have a kind of quite a stake in the company, and they could take decisions which they would not know, or without the board meeting, that could a lot of things could have been decided. So that was a earlier kind of a phenomena that usually board were a bit scared of it. But I guess a lot of startups, like I guess of business kind of messing out the name. So husband started off business and wife started the other fintech thing, and it's a both of them are $1 billion startup right now. One's into fintech, one is to procurement plus of business, whatever they're doing right now. So, I mean, they are husband wife too. So, inter-party, or like you said, friends, or knowing someone each other, mother-daughter duo. Like I guess it's all right till the time you are. I mean, one person is actually managing your operation, one person managing your finance. So you are kind of both of them. If you are complete as a team, it is all right. But again, if you are just kind of blending just your friends and ye wala cheese, I mean, that would not really be a workable situation. You have to think of it as whoever you bring in, like your co-founders or your founding team or all your CTOs, like all the co-founding team where we say, right? So these guys have to be the person that they are with some kind of responsibilities and understanding about the space that you're working in such a way that they complete your business in somehow. You just can't have your friends, or you can not just have your mom just because like she's a mom or something like that, right? I mean, if you have seen grown over the years, like a mom has been working out really well on the operation side, or she just understand how to sales between her age streams or whatever. So if you think that she has idea about that, maybe you go around work around the finances and all those sorts. You have to kind of complete as the whole business. You just can't say कि ठीक है, she's my mom and I'm just starting it out. Also, there were a lot of hurdles earlier, but again, quite flexible if you have a strong business, and if the thesis matches with the fund. So again, like all the VCs, all the angel funds or the private equities out there, they have their predetermined thesis of investment in a particular space, and they have actually predeterminedly decided what and how and at what stage they would be investing in what kind of startup and what is the equity that they would be taking in. So if you have a bandwidth of work around time and a bandwidth of actually working according to them, then only take the VC money or just go around and work around with your business. And if because a lot of family business has started and worked well really that way as well. But if you have to work around as an investor mindset, then only take a VC or angel funds money. That's what I'll say. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I do agree on this. And I have seen that brand storyline, if we talk about branding or brand storyline, the people, the young people are starting the business, but the complete, I can say, they have the power or money of their dad or mom, and they are just saying that we are a solo entrepreneur, we are self-made people starting our own business. So,
Nothing wrong
whatever.
in that, actually. Nothing wrong in that, because, like, if I would have my parents backing me up at a very early stage, I mean, that's not a negative thing, right? I mean, if Mama or if Ghazal and they decided to kind of maybe their kids come in with a really good AI startup, they would back it up, right? I mean, I mean, you just can't say that nepotism is a thing here. I mean, it's like, ki, you have the resources, why not use it?
Right.
Maybe so yeah, I mean that should not be a challenge here. I mean that's always a positive. So
Exactly, exactly. That's true. So, Umang, you advise a lot of companies. So, have you seen that the growth of the company is fast if there are two females working, or how does it affect the bond or the growth of the company? Is there any difference between a male and female having a company, or a group of people and a woman having the same company?
Actually, okay, again, it's not just one factor and you can conclude on it and make a generalization. It's always different things. Purely by statistics, it's evidentially established that women-led businesses perform better. I mean, it's not something I'm saying. It's well researched, well written about. Indian government initiatives and whole lot of things which are revolving around women-founded businesses. But again, one is a mindset thing which we were talking about, that is there somebody else who's looking at your tech? Is there somebody else who's looking at your finance? अरे मैडम कोई तो होगा, that's kind of mindset definitely is there. But purely from business perspective, women do, I mean, having worked personally, if I am interacting with a woman as a founder, the approach towards work, the eye to the detail, the preparations, I mean, it's completely different. I mean, these are the traits which are very well respected again as a leadership trait in today's time. I mean, it's no longer business as usual. It is business unusual. We are in a very different world today. It's very, very disruptive, new innovations, new technology. I mean, both kind of disruptions, positive and negative. So you have to be able to, think on your feet and do a whole lot of things. But for a startup, purely from startup perspective, which are mainly, again, in the context of what is being discussed, VCs and financial community will look at a proof of concept before putting in the money. But there are a lot of early stage companies, and what is the ability of these people to bring that idea into a business, if you look at startups, you will see, again, not making generalization, but those who come from consulting firm backgrounds, those who come from IIMs and IITs or any foreign MBAs, or having spent at least, if not too much, but significant time in a particular business where they have been operating, and they understand that ecosystem well, they are able to attract more capital even at the ideation stage. The company is yet to be formed, and I have advised companies in the friends and family rounds which have converted into a VC round, because the founding team itself has been so solid that the VCs and the investors have been very, very attracted towards that. So I think here is where the gender neutrality comes into play. But yeah, I mean, more women on the investment community side will make a difference, that a trait of a woman and the skills and the expertise she brings is complementary to the team, from the preparation, getting things ready and rolling, and very diligent, very, very effective. Like they're very deep into everything, and this whole thing of taking it to the closure, like find the solution, close it, move on to the next. So yeah, I mean, yes, women do bring diversity of everything: opinions, skill matrix, the way of working, operations, processes. So yes, if not co-founded by women, you must have a woman co-founder as a part of the team.
Yeah, I feel that it makes the company complete, because a woman can, what woman can manage or multitask, a man cannot. A man is stuck in one work. यार सुबह से एक ही काम कर रहा हूँ. But woman, if we ask her what she is doing, she will tell a list of things from morning she has done. So there is no end in that things. And
Yes.
Kalyani, I would like to ask that woman, Umang stated importance of mindset in our first conversation and now as well. So what do you think is mindset important, and how have you gotten the right mindset to grow your business at such a level and go for more big beginnings, I can say?
I feel this mindset, I would say, first starts at yourself, where you sort of, I would say, let's move out from the entrepreneurship or business side overall also. But when you look at overall women in the ecosystem of society, we have somehow believed that we are not the ones who will start or believe in making larger things. We somehow are always like second guessing whether we will be able to do it. Should we take it upon us? Other people not believing us. Somebody will be like, "Acha, aage kya hoga? Kyun karogi?" Things like that. So it starts at yourself that first you should believe that I can do it, uh, leaving the societal norms behind. And I think that's a process and a journey which currently I personally am also going through, reaching to one milestone, and then again I feel that I can achieve a lot of things, but once one of those milestones is achieved, then you sort of feel that okay, next, second, and third milestone can now be unlocked. So it's sort of a process, it's not a one time thing. But at the same time, I would like to say a lot of my so I live in a society where a lot of startup founders, and we all stay together in different flats and operating from different flats as their offices. All of them are, male founders, and I'm the only female founder and a friend of theirs. So we are a group of people who have been together for 4 5 years. What they keep telling me is we seriously want a woman co-founder right now, and I'll tell you two things why they are looking at this. One is because of the initiative which different people in the ecosystem are right now taking, right from the government to the accelerators and incubators. Women are seen more, they are given the opportunities today to be a part of, because a lot of programs are women led, women founded, women partnered, all of this. So I'm getting that visibility. At the same time, for them, I think there's a slight bit more competition to get that visibility because they have been there in huge numbers for a long time. And secondly, also, of course, as rightly Omang mentioned, the I would say attention to detail, a particular detail in your working. Of course, you might be better at finance, you might be better at doing tech, but there are so many other things which you can minutely manage, which can help run this very smoothly. So that's something which I've heard why they want a woman co-founder. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a fascinating point. So
Yeah.
I feel the more opportunities for women who really want to start and do something big, just not to wait for the right time, but this is the right
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
everybody is boosting the startup ecosystem, everybody wants to start a good startup, innovative startup. So, coming to the end of this session, I would just like to conclude this by asking your opinion, starting with Harshika. So, what would be your, I can say, tips, lessons, or anything that you want to share to our fellow women, I can say entrepreneurs, or maybe they are not starting or doing anything, but still, as a woman, what would you like to inspire them so that they can move ahead, even with the smaller decision? It is not just that starting a business is always good. Some may be good in their own jobs, doing or working, or maybe a homemaker. She is also doing a lot of things. Let's not just forget that we are working, so we are too good in all our ways. So, what would be your wisdom here?
So I guess, I mean, every day as a woman, the day pass by, you are doing, I mean, yeah, of course, every day you're doing something, right? So just be proud of what you have been able to attend till now. And I'll just have a thing that I did alongside. So I hail from a tier two town, and again, not many VCs are from like Nagpur coming forward, right? I mean, and not many founders are also from a tier two, tier three towns. But just keep learning. Have that gist inside you that you have something like, I mean, in a day's time when you are just kind of working along maybe for your child, for your husband, for your family. Just take some time out for yourself. Just have a continuous kind of learning or excitement for that me time that you would have. And just have that time for yourself and just feel good about what you have achieved and what you are doing right now and how much you are able to support your family and you yourself as well. And again, if you want to start something of yourself or you're already doing it, I mean, just try and uh, come back to a point that yes, see the journey that you have been through. I mean, this is what day by day, I mean, like Kalyani or Umang or you, Shweta, I mean, every day you have been doing a lot of things. Like, I mean, and every day is a celebration if you see it. Actually, from past 10 years, 20 years, every day is a celebration because you have achieved some small thing. Like, even if you are kind of having a meeting, one-on-one meeting with an investor, that is a celebration someday. If you kind of get money from them, it's a celebration one day. Every day is a celebration. Just take that 5 minutes out from your day's time and just live that moment for you. I mean, everyone around you is supporting you. That's really great. You have been supporting them. That's really great of you that you have been there for them. But be there for you. Like for that 5-10 minutes, just be grateful for who you have been. So that's what I'll say.
Yeah, you said it all. So I think celebration, if we talk about celebration, we should learn to celebrate ourselves because from childhood we are that कि खुद की तारीफ मत करो. If we talk more about ourselves, जैसे कि इतना क्यों बता रहे हो अपने बारे में, we know. But I think the time has come where we need to boost ourselves in front of people and tell them what we are and what we can achieve. Because till we ourselves will not talk about our dreams, who is going to come to rescue us from all this side? So coming to Umang, your words of wisdom.
Well, I mean, I totally agree with what Harshika said. I mean, in the process, we forget to compliment ourselves and pat our backs. Uh, but as a beginner, I mean, at the first level, I think the first is our own mindset change. We don't, I mean, people will always talk to you like you don't know. So learn to not listen and make sure sometimes in the politeness we don't really reflect what we know and just do, nod our heads, oh, you've given me some pearls of wisdom. Make sure you absolutely reflect that, I haven't come this far not knowing what, you're telling me. So that's one. Secondly, ask. I mean, one of the things we feel is that it is a weakness to show that you don't know or you do need help. And that goes for even personal space as well, where, you need ecosystem to give you support for your child care or your parent care or, 10,000 other things that you're running in, which is honestly not a problem for men. They can wisely get dressed, get their lunch in the hand and go, be the savior of the world. Whereas women are facilitating everything from ration in their house to their kids education to there are too many multitasking that things keeps happening. So wherever you need to, please ask people to step in. Don't feel that there is a problem and it's a weakness that people will not appreciate. uh Thirdly, I mean, there are a whole lot of things which I think women don't upskilling, continuously keep upskilling yourselves for things that you don't know. You should have at least working knowledge of everything. And this is what I feel. I mean, you can't be everything. And this is not fair of people to expect that financial, technical, this, that, everything a startup founder needs to know. No, what you need to know is to manage all of that. You should be able to create a problem proposition and get to the solution of it. That's it. And for that, you need to bring subject matter experts, you need to onboard people, you make your strategies. So think outside, don't get consumed by the problem and try to resolve everything. There is so much time in the day and you already have too much on your plate. So be wise, do your time management well, upskill, you have fair knowledge so that you're able to get the right kind of resource for the problem you have. And if I mean, I'll stop here. There is something that I keep reading back and back, and I do this in a lot of sessions, and I tell people. So I'll just take quick 2 minutes and read this. I read in a book by Ryan Visser on sustainable leadership. So he makes a comparison of an elephant and a lion leadership, where men goes out in the world as lions and trying to, acting like hunters, looking to dominate the economic planes and with short-term financial priorities without caring about the social and environment impacts. It's in the sustainability context, but you can apply it to everything. An elephant, on the other hand, is not only a brute force, but is also a master of survival and adaptation, and living largely in cooperative harmony with their fellow creatures. So these are those leadership traits. You should be able to reconcile conflicting interest, which is what business requires. You should be able to adapt to any problem which leadership, whether at home or business, requires. And these traits is well acknowledged fact that women come with. They're not only actually brute force, because they give birth to a human being. I mean, starting from there itself. So I think we keep trivializing the things that we do. We do not compliment ourselves enough. We should work in collaborations and network where women keep empowering. And there are women in tech and financial space. So reach out, take help, ask for help. I think that's where I'll stop.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So first point here I would like to say is that believing in ourselves is the first step towards achieving what Harshika or what Umang or what Kalyani has said. Because till we don't believe and are confident in our own capabilities, the world will not accept us. Because the world is there to, there are people who will give us a hand to go up, but there are lot many people who just want to not support. So the mindset here will make a big difference in anybody's life. So, Kalyani, moving towards you. What are your thoughts on this?
So I feel the fight initially starts at your home. So it is a long journey. It has been a journey for me personally to whatever I've learned is from my personal experience only, where I've seen my mother. She is a brilliant, brilliant personality, a homemaker, but today she's the one who leads the family, understanding financial decisions, kids' education, now my marriage and things like that. All of that, she's the one who will be taking a lead on those things. But one other thing which I heard her say, all her life, she's been saying this to my father and also us as kids, is that I wanted to do something in life. I wanted to, other than this, I was a brilliant student. I wanted to learn, I wanted to do something, but she was married off at a very early age because he was from a village and a farming family background. So she said initially my parents did not allow me to, they got me married off. After that, when I got married, my in-laws did not allow me to work in it, and then I had started having kids, and then after that, because of you, I was not able to do that. So I always say whenever I go or attend any sessions is that I will not say something like this to anybody in my life, that I was not able to do this because of you, whether it is my husband, whether it is my parents, whether it is my kids. If I feel I can do it, I'll do it anyways. I'll multitask, I'll manage, I'll ask for help, but people around me always know that I try to be very selfless, and I try to make sure that everybody has what they want. But in that process, I never forget what I want. And, I'll make sure that people know that this is what I want, and, everybody's needs will be taken care of. So I think that is the first thing which I, would want everybody to know, that you do not have to say to anybody that I was not able to do because of you, because at the end, you are the one who are living this journey, not they will say and do their parts and go away with their own work around with their own lives, but you will not. And secondly, this is not especially to women only, but overall to young people, like me. I only say to them that there's no right time to start anything. Everybody sort of tries to wait and see, okay, if I have a job and then if I earn something and then I'll, put out money and then start something of my own. I feel initially, as soon as you are in the college or you're just fresh out of college, this is the time when you have very less responsibilities, and maximum, most of the cases, you can take that risk at that time and start and work, and you can spend more time there. And once you start getting responsibilities in your life, then you have to move towards stability and things like that. But I always say that starting early is going to help you fail early, and once you fail early, you're going to learn early and then again succeed early. So that's the thing I would like to say to all the young people out there, especially women. So that's it.
Thank you, beautiful panelist, and your knowledge and expertise have really impressed us and enhanced our knowledge and made us think in a different way about the life journey. So here I would like to add one statement that I always believe. As Kalyani said, same my grandma says that I couldn't do this thing. So when I heard her story, that day I thought that when I become 50 or 60 age, I should not think that कि time रहता ना पता रहता तो मैं पहले कर लेती थी. And that make me every day motivated. If not now, then when? So all ladies here and all the wonderful people, it's time to do something that you love, that you are passionate about, so that every day would be a celebration, as Harshika said. And when you celebrate, we are always happy, because life is for living happily, enjoying the moments, and moments can be small or big, that doesn't matter, but internal satisfaction and doing something good for the country. Because everybody here who is coming, we are indirectly or directly contributing to the growth of our country. And that sense of pride can leave us, I can say, the feeling of satisfaction that really we are doing what we can do. So let's start doing something from the great. And now I would like to hand over the things to Shivani. So Shivani will take the things ahead.
Thank you so much, Shweta, for a wonderful panel moderation. I would request any attendees, if they have they have their question, they can put in our chat box or open and unmute their mic to any women entrepreneur or any attendees here.
Very good afternoon, everyone. I would like to introduce myself. I have a question to Harshika ma'am. My name is Shivani, and I am a women founder from Bundelkhand Jhansi region. And by profession, I am a food technologist. And I started working on Indian superfruit bait in COVID duration, and I put a effort of 1 year of R&D to develop the products made from the Indian superfruit bear by studying its shelf life patterns. And after that, we worked with the horticulture department for its collection, cultivation with the tribal people and collection. So we were able to develop like bear infused dark chocolate, cookies, and spreads, chatkara snacks, and very lot of other products. And I started with a corporate gifting pattern, so directly to approaching to B2B clients. And in this way, we were able to become first international gifting partners with G20 as well. And now we have worked with M3M Group, Real Estate Groups, Asset Deal, NBCC. So these are the clients which we are working on. But we want to, like me, working solely on the project, as ma'am told that juggling with all the activities is not possible. So currently we are dealing with the tech thing also, design thing also, then packaging also, and hiring people coming then going is not getting a continuous channel as well. So managing all of these situation, and now we are looking for a VC guidance so that we can get a proper mentorship. So I just wanted to ask ma'am that how can a startup identify that this is the right moment to be part of VC funding or to approach a VC, and a startup like me should approach which kind of profile VC? Like we are working into ecopreneur development, ecosystem, sustainable climate change, and along with the food processing sector. Thank you, ma'am.
Food and consumer. Yeah, thank you so much for your question, Shivani. And so actually, it just happened this way that one of my portfolio management in the team is also Shivani, and she's from Jhansi. So I mean, what were the
Oh,
odds? So yeah, so I'll just tell you, there are some particular VCs who only write in consumer space, be it Sauce, Six Sense. So Sauce wrote an early check-in XY. It's a apparel brand. Mokobara, you might be looking at their bags. So they were the early backers of Whole Truth as well. Whole Truth is in your space. So
Yes, ma'am.
whenever a thing on the consumer side, what you are working on, let's say a specific superfood like millet had a run through, or moringa had a run through. Some time back, makhana had a run through as well. So I mean, it's a specific. I mean, so Shiprocket has their. I'll just kind of check if they are still running the cohort here. Rocket Ship, where they kind of invest and kind of help these early stage startups to bring their brand strategy and also help around the team and management of the whole. Six Sense, Fireside, Sama Capital are some of the other consumer VCs out there. In fact, we also look at consumer very actively. All the I guess if you don't have any investments done from any of the industry veteran yet, just kind of take an angel check for start. Start bringing some brand collaborator or person who would have an understanding, take a mentorship or give a mentorship equity to them to bring in business. For that, you could have a scale up around, let's say, 10-15 lakhs a month kind of thing, and then reach out to some VCs.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Mentorship equity, we should bring search people who can just
If a person can give you a business source of, let's say, around 5 to 10 lakhs a month least, that's where you can think of it, that he, rather than investing in you, you are giving out some kind of 1 or 2% mentorship or kind of business equity to him or her. Sorry,
Yes, ma'am.
her.
This sense I literally don't have. Like when I go and meet and interact to people who are very good at marketing and who are able to bring leads also. So at that time, I'm very not capable to decide that what equity should be given or what offers
So
we can
usually the
give to the
industry
people.
standard is around 1-2% for
Okay,
a
ma'am.
mentorship or a if the volume of the business is, so I mean, we can discuss this offline as well, Shivani. I'll share my mail.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Alright.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, we have another question from Ms. Shefali Garg. How to motivate the team being an entrepreneur? So this is for, I think, Kalyani and Umang, for both of you. And I think
Yes, ma'am, for
motivating
Umang.
team being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So I feel again this has nothing to do with you being a woman founder. This is a very leadership skill which everybody has to possess. And as far as initially you have a 5-10 member team, the challenges and the kind of I would say the kind of uh, ecosystem you have with your team or the understanding you have would be very different when the number increases. So you have to at the end look at what their motivation is with working with you. Is it that they're believing in the vision, or is it something which they are coming here to upping their skill set, or only for the money? So I think these are the traits which I personally am trying to understand within my team, and make sure that what their personal goals are when they come and join the team are trying to be fulfilled over a period of time. So that's basically what I look at. But this is something which is always a work in progress. You are going to make mistakes and learn from it, and there are going to be different kinds of people. It's very this comes under people management skills, and not only ticking off the tasks which you've given them, that they have come and submitted those tasks, but at the same time making sure that you have a good relationship with the team, and so that they stand with you even ups and downs in the companies while the company grows. Yeah.
If anyone has any questions, so they can put in the chat box, or we can close the session, or unmute their mic and go ahead. I think we can close the session, and I would conclude giving a vote of thanks on behalf of Amity University and Amity Technology Incubator. So I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who contributed in making our panel discussion resounding success. First and foremost, our deepest appreciation goes to our esteemed panelists, Ms. Harshika, Ms. Umang, and Ms. Kalyani. Our expertise, insight, and thoughtful contribution have enriched our understanding of women-centric startup ecosystem. Your willingness to share knowledge and engage in meaningful dialogue has left a lasting impact on all of us. We would also like to express our gratitude to our moderator, Ms. Shweta, for skillfully taking the discussion and ensuring that all the viewpoints were heard. A special thank to all our attendees for their active participation. We are also grateful to Atal Innovation Mission for their support. In closing, we are grateful to each and every one of you for valuable contribution and for being part of this enriching discussion. We look forward to more such conversation and working together towards a shared goal. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Harshika. Thank you, Shivani.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
you,
It was really
Shivani.
nice meeting you, Umang, Kalyani,
Hi,
Shikha.
thank you
Thank you so much for
everyone.
inviting
Same
me,
here.
Thanks.
Shivan. Thank you.
Same here.
Bye-bye.
Same here. Same here.